Oh yeah, he's going to Antioch University.
Yes, I am.
Wow.
I'm going to throw
Alright. The first poem I'm going to read was actually gracefully published by Don, and it's my poem on Muhammad Ali, and it's called and Huya was beautiful. Still floating like a butterfly. I'm your red glove filled with fits full of love. She just asked the foreman, distant and Asia, sidestepping in that ring like a dancer, a two-step jab romancer, still stinging boxers endlessly. We can still hear the bell and the raps from your tongue, and even Cosell's microphone loves a rhyme of your charming spell. And even the Beatles wanted to get in the room with you. And not even the man of steel could never destroy you. And on different strokes, the way you beat the hooch on the phone without even landing a hit. And because the power of your voice, and when I can only hammer with shame and to my skinny pain as I worship your Adonis pain. I may have stuttered every other word, but even I knew your name. As the camera flashed in immortality, your battles were just a fist in the face of your game. From behind, we're witnessing your sweating arms raised to infinity, with gold belt crowning you deaf to the divinity, and still floating like a butterfly, punching syllables, fighting to knock the world out, with a smile softer than clay, echoing Cassius like Jesus on a cross. Even defeat, your bouts were my religion. Even in tears, you never lost. Sidestepping in that ring like a dancer, two-step jab romancer, still stinging boxers endlessly. And when I say Ali, still weaving your bobby head like a champion as you mumble with greatness. The greatest was me. The next poem was actually, every day I try to write a poem from a photograph, which is called the next phrases. But this day I found a quote from Ryan Adams, who's one of my favorite singers, and he made his quote that says, "New Orleans was just a wreck. I was so depressed, and there's only two things to do in New Orleans: drink and die." And this is my reply to this quote. It's called "Lucky Dogs" on Bourbon Street. New Orleans crawls along like nutria rats near Lake Pontchartrain, fishing with shrimp boats along the mighty Mississippi, and we can't forget those streetcars. Don't you dare call them trolleys, right, Adams? These slow-moving machines keep us grounded while sweating the bricks on Garden District islands and counting the jingling change in the quarters. Although sometimes sad, drenched with a smashed heart, I was never depressed living in New Orleans. But I found myself in my balcony apartment, overlooking giant oak trees, branching with Mardi Gras beads hanging, remembrance of carnival parades, floating past my second floor near St. Charles. I loved poor sitting when it rained, watching the streets flooding with my flowering neighbor as we made a play-by-play commentary, witnessing front doors, abandoned bottles without messages, stop signs so essential, because in New Orleans, no one ever hurries. You have to use your feet, become one with your sweat, to take in each dirty, exhausted breath, exhale southern comfort clouds, while stumbling home under these glorious southern skies. Brian, there are two things you can do in New Orleans. Think while you're sipping hand grenades from plastic cups, waiting for your insides to explode, while watching your insides fry. And the foods you swallow are treasure troves of the delicacies for your aching stomach. You probably stayed in your hotel passing out before sunset like a tourist. The last time you hear before passing out, that's the only last call in New Orleans. But you survived. You didn't drink and die. You didn't eat gumbo or etouffee, honey. Why, oh why, Ryan Adams. While regurgitating Lucky Dogs on Bourbon Street, you missed polishing off the best part of our greasiest city. I can still taste caramel glaze, rice pudding. There are no subs in New Orleans. We eat never-ending all that jazz, fruity mark pokeways, while diving inside our mouths inside Juan's filet burritos. Forget the forks, Mr. Adams. Desserts are whipped cream smooth, like a preservation jazz hall symphony. All the frosted layers, caramel cake, parading flavors inside my mouth, salivating hunger, all the sounds, marching horns, tossing beads, and smiles from flashing strangers, while tasting naked midnight in New Orleans, and each and every one of his spoon bites, ordering my burgers like I like my women undressed, saving no less sweaty curves, melting your sweetness like southern decadence, with a beat of lips. My favorite dish loves keeping me up with her most carnal appetites. If anybody remembers growing up in the early 1980s, when King of Pop was actually in his reign, before all the nefarious rumors, this is based on an incident when I was in elementary school. It's called Remember When Michael Jackson Was King. As the lights turned off, this was the day our class stopped to see him dance, the way we dreamed of Billie Jean, watching his white glove glowing as a silver sparkle gliding each step, a man walking. No more talking, we were all shouting. The day our teacher kissed the screen, leaving a lipstick on a TV. Even she felt with each move, gripping the day the microphone turned up his volume. Ovations more than standing from all the feedback. That day we knew he was the one. There's a new book about Marlon Brando. It's called Smile, and this is based on a quote about him. It's called Almost Supernatural. The way Marlon Brando could read a smile or language of her body, you could tell by the way he sat in the chair, upright, cross-legged, slouching, and barely on the seat. Once at an Upper West Side party, he guessed a woman's age by glaring at her teeth, nicotine stained as she dangled her cigarette filter from her thin red lips like an aging 1920s starlet. After the third exhale, he guessed right. She puffed away with fury. Marlon couldn't keep friends. He could always read his pals. He could always read when his pals were bluffing at poker. Brando always cleaned up. He lived conversing for the broken ones, the diner Joes with cracked skin that reeked sadness under their eyes. The way they sipped coffee told more stories than any movie ending. There's no disguising pain. He loved to sit in with singers, jazz players, waiting for the trumpeter to show his life story within the last refrain. Even the way the pianist touched his keys told more of how he liked his women, or he drank champagne. He loved sitting in the actor studio commissary and hearing the thespians complain, wearing souls on their faces like a boxer. Marlon loved going rounds, loving to reveal their inadequacies upstage with uppercut precision. Almost supernatural the way he left their body language feeling bloody, silent in this robe filled with imaginary scars. Brando's sense of smiles exposes why he was always sparring Schleicher grins with his hesitant co-stars. I'm going to sense the theme of these poems. This is a poem, since the anniversary, it's a poem about Frank Sinatra, Blue Eyes. It's one of my favorite poems. I haven't got published yet. I've gotten rejected a lot, but it's called With Applause, When They Asked His Microphone Eyes. Still flashing as Sinatra's ice cube reflects her lipstick glass once stained half full. He remembers drinking her smooth aftertaste, still cold, yet eternally stirring, thicker with so much fire from her acid tongue. Even though this Vegas legend went all in with her, on every hand while placing the Sans microphone on his chest. Frank could still the confession's feedback. It's like Cupid didn't have enough arrows in his quiver for this pair. Although his full house decked two of a kind, flushed with grins, these two honey-willing lovers would play pretend. Even with diamond rings, their explosive hand always folded in the end. The glass from the once cocky bottle stirs half empty now. The ice cracks. Frank bites down, chewing time again, taking up another chick from his wrinkling armor. Colder now, the thrill still stings. The ring fingers chill, so Sinatra jingles the silver cufflinks to reglimpse the heat. The same ringing beat, his black lace feet can make her swing, unzipping the lowest cut smiles. Always reigniting those smoky eyes, sparking her glow, and forever snapping fingers, wanting more hooks position. While trying to find her favorite rhythm, he blushes provider with the orchestra tighter, bringing his mind back to the stage. Their encore indoors, his silhouette shadows two lovers whose flames consumed by desire, now eclipsed forever as her sound perfumes. Her aroma sends him back into the spotlight as Frank inhales her haunting flavor, growing harder with applause when asked with microphone grins. Once again, he replies inside each croon. When Sinatra sings, his blue eyes always remembers she was my Ava Gardner. This is a poem that was inspired by a letter from Kim Hunter wrote to James Grissom in New York City, 1989. It's another Marlon Brando inspired poem. It's called Easily, and I didn't. How could I get over someone like Marlon? He spoiled me, whispering his Adonis lines like an Adonis, with a voice that mumbled proudly. You have to understand, we consummated that marriage every night on stage for many months, the way we started glaring at each other like husband and wife. We wanted to tear each other's clothes off, and then again on the film set, that tension never mentioned. My wrinkling eyelids can taste him, that desire still dripping on my softest hips. I can smell him clean and sweet, dirty, foul-mouthed, muscular baby, and I can feel that back, the way he stood against that wall, dare me to take him, showing so much kin in those lips pouting with such furious candor. So many nights I wanted to bite him. I could feel him teasing, coyly toying with me with his menacing silence. What no one could hear was the way Brando would poetically murmur, softly enunciating as he flexed his tongue muscles, muttering filthy pet names for me, as Stanley would in my ear. I could go on and I could wake up drenched in that fire, wanting to take him backstage with my husband sitting over there, but I carry essential smells. Brando always lotioned up his body. I inhaled the sweetest sensation, seducing me as his Ella stole slow like a streetcar. I imagine him crawling from the wood on our stage. I could hear him breathing, so wild and naked with rage. Like a beast wanting to get inside me, and some nights I'd invite him, would you? Some days I wish I did let him scar me with his beautiful scent. That way I could revisit his wicked touch. I never had him, and yet I would never beg anyone's pardon. We stood this close, his bright and grim, easily, and I never got over his stand.